Hi everyone. In today's lecture, we are going to know what is meant by direct and indirect speech and how we can change the direct into indirect one. But first of all, we need to know what is indirect speech. We use direct speech when we simply repeat what someone says, putting the phrase between speech marks or quotation marks. In other words, when we use direct speech in writing, for example, we place words spoken between quotation marks. Thus, direct speech reporting message of the speaker in the exact words of spoken by him. So let's see examples here. The difference between direct and indirect speech. Sometimes it is called the indirect speech is called it is called reported speech. Here we have examples. He said, I am very hungry. So this is a direct speech. And how do we know that? From the quotation marks. So we change the direct speech into indirect one. He said that he was very hungry. So we report what the other person or the other person's speech. Here we have a statement. By statement, we mean that it is not a question, not exclamation or command. When we have statements, we insert that in order to change the direct into indirect speech. He said that we change I in order to get rid of the quotation marks. I is normally changed into from the first, if we have a first or second person pronoun, into third person pronoun, and the verb tense should be changed if we have the reporting verb in the past tense. So he was, because we change I into he, so that we should change I'm, I am, or am into was, because we need to make a subject and verb agreement or concord. Let's examine in details what are the main changes by converting the direct into indirect speech. We have backshift and other changes. Backshift refers to the changing of the tense of the verb. Several changes are made in converting. Converting means by changing direct into direct indirect speech. So we have their effect is one of distancing. We have distancing. So we need to make sure that there is a distance بعد. So first and second person pronouns are changed into or to third person pronoun as we explained earlier. Let's check more examples here. I'll behave myself. He promised. So this is between a quotation marks. This means this is a direct speech. So we put or write the reporting verb here at the beginning. He promised. We add that because this is a statement. I into he. The other change, the change of the tense, will into would. He would behave himself. Myself into himself. So these are the main three changes. The change of the second, we insert that. We change the first, second pronoun into third pronouns, and the change of the tense, and as well as other changes. For example, if we have reflexive pronouns, and if we have sometimes here there's a change from the demonstrative pronouns this, these into that, those, here to there, and now to then. In this respect, let's see another example. You are beautiful, he whispered. So we write the first at the beginning, the reporting verb, he whispered that she was beautiful. You into she, because we assume that you are beautiful, it is meant for a female. So that's why we write here she instead of he. Are into was. Again, we have to make sure that the subject verb agreement. We cannot change are into were because we have the subject here is singular, she. That's why we should use or should write was. Let's see other examples. I live here, he explained. He explained that he lived there. So the change is the first person pronoun into a third person, live into past tense lived, and here into there. And of course, we insert that because this is a statement. I shall do it now, he said. He said that he would do it then. The change is here in this sentence. So I into he, shall, you can, instead of using would, you can insert should. Of course, you can. Um, Sometimes, okay, we said about subject verb agreement. Do you remember this? So I is usually with shall. We cannot say that I will. That's why we change shall into would, because we want to make this kind of subject verb agreement. That's why we use he would instead of he should. So that's why we change shall into would. Do it from now to then. So the most important alteration takes place. Alteration is the change or تغيير. However, in the verb phrase, this is the change of tense that is referred to as backshift. When the reporting verb, we said the reporting verb means, for example, he said, he explained, he promised, he whispered, etc. In the past tense, the verbs in the reported speech are changed as follows. Direct into direct. If you have a present tense, you change it into past tense. So you want to make a distance, تباعد, from the direct to indirect speech. If you have past, present perfect, or past perfect, all these change to past perfect. Examples. Number one, I am tired, she complained. So if you can notice, these are the statements. She complained, this is the reporting verb in the past tense. That's why we have to change the tense between the quotation marks. That, I into she, third person, am into was, because she with was, we cannot use were, subject verb agreement, tired. The second example, the exhibition finished last week. Here we have the sentence, or it is in the past tense. So in the past, if you remember, past into past perfect. And explain that the exhibition had finished the preceding week. So we have had finished, and from last week, the preceding week. We want to make a distance. The third example, I've won the match already, exclaimed our friend. Our friend exclaimed that have won into had won the match already. The last sentence, the whole house had been ruined, said the landlord. The landlord said that the whole house had been ruined. We have here past perfect. It remains as it is, past perfect. If, on the other hand, if you have the reporting verb instead of the past tense, you have the reporting verb in the present. So there is no tense change. It remains in the present tense. She keeps saying, I am a failure. She keeps saying that she is a failure. So we have here a present simple because the reporting verb in the present tense. Okay, we explained earlier that we insert that with if we have a statement. Now we are going to explain what are the main changes with questions, exclamations, or commands. So let's take examples. For example, here, are you ready yet? This is a yes-no question. In the direct speech, asked one. Asked one, if you have a yes-no question, you can use whether or if. Asked Juan asked me whether I was ready yet. So here we have the change of the tense, and we don't insert that because we have a yes no question. Are you ready yet? This is a question, not a statement, so we have to pay attention to this. Another example with WH question. When will the plane leave? I wondered. So we have a reporting verb here in the past tense. I wondered. We insert the same WH question when the plane would leave. Will into would. Exclamation sentence. جملة تعجبية. What a hero you are. This is not a WH question. This is an exclamation uh, statement. Margaret told him what a hero he was. Okay, so you are into he was. The last example, keep still, she said to the child. This is a command sentence or imperative sentence. It is started, the direct speech started with a verb. There's no subject. That's how we know, or that's how we know this is an imperative sentence. She told, we change into from she said, she told because this is a command, or she ordered, we can say. She told the child to keep still. So these are the main changes here with the questions, with exclamation or commands. Suppose you have a modal auxiliary instead of a normal one. So what are the main changes? This is this is a sentence. May I go? She asked. This is a direct speech between a quotation mark. This is not a statement. This is a question. So that remember in a question you have to, if you have a yes no question, you have to use whether or if. She asked if or whether she might go. I into she and may into might. This is a modal auxiliary. Another example, I would like some tea, he said. So he said that this is a statement. It's optional here. He said that he would like some tea. Okay, we have a past tense. It remains a past tense in the reported speech. That's it for today. Thanks for watching.